Alright guys, welcome back to One Piece chapter 1132. It's been 2 long weeks waiting for it, but we're finally here back with new chapters and hopefully Oda has rested well. So grab your tea, drink of any kind and enjoy the chapter. I'll take some drinks meanwhile. But yeah, it's called Adventure in Elbaph. And to be honest, I wasn't even aware that it was this week. I just kind of, when I got the news of the 3 weeks, or I thought it said 3 weeks of break, I said, okay, not even gonna check. It's I've been busy, just letting time fly, and I just saw a post of new chapter this week. Completely surprised. So let's jump into the chapter. I'm just gonna go through it. There's that eerie message at the end of the chapter that I have no idea what it means, but maybe some theories I'll throw at it towards the end. But it probably plays a role into the Norse mythology, which also, first of all, seeing that rainbow bridge immediately went into my I forgot what it was in Thor's movie where they take that like it's a rainbow traveling through all the worlds. I think that's actually a Norse mythology thing. I didn't research it, but it reminds me of the way they travel in light speed because of I forgot his name, the all-seeing guy. Anyway, let's jump into the chapter, and we see that at the bottom base of Elbaph, which is surprising because I thought the sea level rised. But anyway, doesn't matter. Maybe they just built a little more inland. They're scouting. They see people approaching the island from and then we also find out there's 3 zones. There's 3 levels. There's the dead level, the sun level, and the heaven level. We have no wording on the heaven level yet this chapter, but we do have that there's a dead level, and they live in the sun level. And so you have a little kid that is called Colin, and or maybe it's Corin because the L's and R's they get swapped out sometimes. Anyway, so they're named Colin, at least in this translation, and he's calling out to see if they're gonna stop by in the bar, and you see Brogy just signal that they're not, because I don't know if they can hear him. But they would stay there for 3 days drinking and party. Brogy and those pirates are awesome. And we get a callback that this person kind of seems the most like Luffy because of meeting with Shanks, talking about the pirates, and probably looking up to the pirates. And we have Hydrugen. And so also the ship is called the Great Eric, which is awesome. I think that's a Norse term also for the ship name. And they say, and the first glimmers of something's up with this rainbow is we're gonna hitch a ride. What do you mean you're gonna hitch a ride? It's perfect timing. There's some clues that I'm like, are you gonna ride the rainbow? So they do in this regard, because everybody on the ship is like, what do you mean? What are you gonna do to this rainbow? And we get a dialogue from Brogy saying, yeah, some people draw it with this stone. What do you mean? What does this stone do? How many applications does this stone have? Can you draw rainbow bridges anywhere? There's so many implications. Can Usopp use this? Can somebody in the Straw Hats incorporate this into their arsenal? Maybe. I'm just getting way ahead of myself because that's awesome. Maybe Franky. Like, I feel like Franky needs to do an upgrade, but also Franky being able to have the Atomwood tree at his disposal can mean very, very great upgrades for the Straw Hat ship, the Sunny. But that's treading into theories, like, off topic. So I'll go back into the story. You have Brogy holding the stone, and they're saying they're all mesmerized with how beautiful the what's it called, the rainbow looks, and they're talking. I forgot who it was. Oh, okay. So that's what I wanted to find, is this one specific comment from Jinbei, because I feel like I self-insert with Jinbei because Jinbei has the most logical takes and very, very good takes in the world of One Piece, and from other people. And when he sees something completely crazy, he's the one that points it out, and he says, like, because you've never seen a rainbow so close, he like standing there and he says, "Can you even see a rainbow from this angle? It looks weird." It's weird, and I'm like, yeah, you can't. There's a very specific distance you can see a rainbow, but that's hilarious. I identified with Jinbei there. But somebody else mentions that, Franky mentions that rainbow is nothing but a reflection of light. So I'm like, yes, that's also it. Like, Franky asking the real questions. But yeah, anyway, it completely Oda introduces us into this method that this is a magical place. There is no sense in this place anymore. Like, this breaks your sense of logic. Like, you're riding a rainbow. There's no more, logic here. This is a magical area, magical land. So we go ahead and we're riding up this rainbow. They're saying that there's really no current, there's no resistance. You can row all the way and you arrive just fine, because there's like, this rainbow has magical characteristics where you just travel faster, and it feels like it opens up a world of traveling that they can utilize, if anything, maybe in like a short distance, and very like escape or get to a certain specific spot, just because of this rainbow bridges. And they meet Hydrugen on the way there, and Franky, like, I love it. I love Franky. I love this. Like, Franky just going super on top of like Brogy's hand, and then Hydrugen's like, cyborg. Like, it's so funny. Like, the gimmicks are so good. But yeah, Hydrugen's is there, and they explain to him that Straw Hat's gonna be meeting up with us soon. And then we cut out of there. I think that's everything that I wanted to get through on that point. And the other shipmates of Hydrugen are crossing the bridge, and Luffy jumps up from the dead level up to them and saying, "That's our ship," which is a cool little like how fast he got there. We get past that area where Luffy's with Loki, so we get right through that part, and we get past and we get the story moving, thankfully. And then everybody meets up. I'm very glad that everybody gets to meet up. And some people were saying, I kind of just, well, why did they have to separate? Why did Oda separate the Straw Hats? Why did Oda do the some in the crew, some in Legoland? I think that if we went to the Legoland, it would have been way too crowded with all the Straw Hats, so that he separated some of them there. You have Luffy, I call them Luffy. What? Luffy and Loki mixed in there. How did my brain work like that? Luffy meets Loki by himself, and he was able to do this much easier being separated, at least in the original crew. And we also have the newspaper landing with the rest of the crew, so they don't get to see the X on Luffy's on his Gear 5 mode, which would have been a notice for the other crewmates that were in Legoland, that, hey, that's a mark we used to have. That's with Vivi. Vivi's fine. Vivi's all right. She's actually probably with Morgan. We know she's safe then, or we know we got to find her with Morgan. And even then, like, to be honest, next chapter, it could be Robin saying, Luffy, can you turn into Gear 5? Or Luffy, did you have this on your arm when you go in Freedom form, in that Gear 5 form? And Luffy can transform and be like, oh, no, I don't see it. Or he could just blatantly say, no, I don't have it, but that's a mark we used to have in Alabasta. So that just clears up. I can see why they would have separated and why not. Like, I think it just helps with the storytelling. So yeah, you have the Giants meeting Luffy. They're explaining that they didn't want him to lock him up. We're gonna guide you through Elbaph. And I don't know why Oda drew Luffy like this. Like, he does not hold secrets well, and it's funny. Like, they ask him, "What were you doing down there?" And he looks worried. He looks stressed, and I'm like, I know he's not worried about Loki. He was literally going to fight him the moment he saw him, and the moment he's mentioned anything bad about Shanks. So it's not that. So he's just like cold sweating. He's sweating out there in the freezing temperatures. Like, he's very bad at lying. I don't think I've ever had Oda I don't think I've had Oda have Luffy hold on to a lie or a secret for very long. you know, if somebody asked him something, I don't think he's a good liar. So I think that's what it is. He's just very bad at hiding things. And this has to be some of the most beautiful chapters that we've seen from Oda in a while, other than the first time we saw Elbaph. Okay, so next we have the rest of the crew trap Roto. So they just put him in a trap, and then the rest of the crew meets up to him and completely smacks Roto. So everybody's like, whoa, maybe we didn't actually hit him that hard. They're very vicious to their own crewmate. And they all meet up. So they're explaining, we're gonna go into the village now, I'll guide you, everybody's back together. Well, not yet, but we have the other crew going on the Rainbow Bridge. And it's so funny when they finally see them on the Rainbow Bridge, because Jinbei's like, they're gonna freak out when they see this Rainbow Bridge. Like, you can ride a rainbow. And we have a beautiful panel of them finally meeting or getting to the village in Elbaph. And man, when I tell you, I had to hold my head on my hand, because when we get that little callback to Luffy and Usopp remembering that moment that they said they're gonna go to Elbaph, the land of warriors, from, man, when they met Dorian Broggy, chapter like 150, 200, like forever ago. It's been decade plus of this story. And back there, finally, and we're finally here. What, 18 years later? Jeez. Finally, we get to Elbaph, and you have Usopp just crying, man. Just finally, he made it here. He's made it to the land of warriors. He's a brave, almost nearly reached his dream of being a brave warrior of the sea. And the rest of the crew, and they finally meet, and I feel like what's it called? Franky is almost the second in command, just calling out to Luffy like, "We've been looking for you." And then they see that they're riding a rainbow bridge, and the panels are great from Chopper, Usopp, and Luffy. And then there's this narrator writing. That's the end of the chapter, and then we get a good old explanation in like a scroll from a narrator and an explorer. Maybe not a narrator, but an explorer. And I don't know who this is. Lewis Arnott Explorer. He's the explorer. Do not linger there for too long. My only hints of warning, my only warning to you, if you're reading this, if you get anything from this message, is do not linger there for long. Why is that, Arnold? I mean, Lewis Arnott? Why is that? Why don't I linger there for long? Is there a magical property to this land that turns people into giants, traps them forever? Why do they not linger for long? So we have a shadowy figure. Also in the previous panel, we have a shadowy figure. We have a weird bear in a forest looking part of the land. But that's it. Like, I don't know what that is. And then there's like a shadowy figure. I don't know if he is the adventurer. I don't know if that's a callback to his adventure. Like, whoever this person is, they look like they have a captain hat, and they were just walking in there. I don't know if they're normal size. I don't know if they're giants. But there's so much properties to that. Like, why not linger there for longer? Anyway, that's the end of the chapter. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out some random theories and probabilities for the next chapter. So if you let me know anything you need me to review, comment on, or talk about, just let me know. Leave me a like, comment, and we'll get through with that. So let me think here. So for the do not linger there for long. What? It could be a magical property. It could be a weird property for because even Shanks looks like he was there for a while, but he didn't stay for long. It looks like he's actually even out of the island, because Colin would have said Shanks is going to be excited to meet them again, or Shanks is here also. He didn't mention that. He said that Shanks told him about him. So maybe he's not in the island anymore. He might have been moved. He might have moved out already, and that plays a part into not lingering for long. Because everything in the New World, as we've seen, has a twist to the island. There's something dangerous about most of these islands, and this might be the Giants' weight of, the Giants' island. The word just jambles here. It might be its own self-defense, that it has a magical property to do something to the people that visit it that aren't of Giants' blood. So it could be a neutralizing effect. It could be a killing effect. It could be a slow deterioration. Wow, I'm really bad with words right now. And it could kill you very slowly. I don't know why it would tell you not to linger for long. There's nothing in Norse mythology that's just standing out that you can't stay in the area for long. That I remember, maybe something in hell, in that area for hell, the dead zone, magical giant properties that defend them. So maybe giant's blood helps you ward this off. But if you aren't of giant descent, you slowly die on this island if you don't leave soon. That plays a role into why Shanks is not in the island anymore, as far as we know. That could be why he's already left. That could also be why there's no normal humans on this island. But yeah, for next chapter, it could be just finally meeting up, finally talking, getting more info from Hydrugen, the king, something about Loki. Like somebody's got to mention a little bit of Loki. So Luffy like kind of looks shocked and nervous, and everybody can definitely tell that there's something wrong. Spit it out, Luffy. And he's gonna say he met Loki, and there's something else that he might have learned, and he spills some info. But overall, I think it was a very good chapter. Very finally moving the threads, but we're gonna get another break soon. I think for the holidays, as usual, we get another break. There's no break for next week, so we might, hopefully, get this chapter for this Sunday. We get another chapter. We might get 2 chapters before the New Year's and Christmas and the holidays. Or we might get 1 more chapter and then break until next year, which can happen as well. It's happened before, I think, depending how Oda feels too. Just give Oda his break for the end of the year, and we can see how the next year plays out. But they can for the next chapter they can meet up, they can get more info on the captains, Hydrugen info. Because I don't know where the plot point is right now. Actually, that's why I'm kind of standstilled, right? Like, I don't know where we're heading. So Luffy has to do something to create the next. Maybe that's what it is. Because Luffy has to do something. He has to free Loki. Because there is no villain. As far as we know, we're visiting the Giants Island for fun at this point. We have Robin with meeting Saul again. Great. Hey, that's good. That's 1. That meeting Saul. Good. We get more info on archaeology, history. We have so much potential for info dumping. I'm so excited. Like, we have Robin reading the old books, getting a bunch of info out of Ohara. Luffy being the sun god, devil fruit power. We have them showing that form to the Giants. We have Hydrugen talking about the army and his giants, and following Luffy being a subordinate, maybe. Not subordinate, like, being his fleet. We have, what else? We have so much info dump that we can get from this island, but we're visiting for fun, right? We have Usopp training. We have Franky upgrading the ship potentially. We're here for fun. Like, they got picked up on nearly Shanks' orders, right? Like, they wanted to go to Elbaph anyway, so they're excited. Like, we're going there. We're going to go visit. We're going to have some fun. We're going to party. Then we're going to go on our merry way. So something has to happen to create an antagonist. Loki is an antagonist, but I don't see him being to the level of a Yonko or Luffy to be an actual threat, right? So something has to happen to, or maybe we're fine. Loki is just a minor villain in this case, or not even a villain, misunderstood or whatever, and they go on their merry way. And they defeat him or stop him and then get more info out of Loki and keep going, or and keep him locked up. Or he escapes to join Blackbeard. That would be an insane twist. But yeah, that could be it. Or he gets his devil fruit taken. That could be insane. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't think of that. But I don't see. My cat is just there. I don't see an antagonist right now that like something to fix, which is good because that just progresses the story faster. So we get through Elbaph in 25 chapters, depending on the no, because it says there's a level of antagonist and then they're warning not to stay for long. So there's like a yin yang here. I don't know what Oda's gonna do, but I'm excited for it and I can't wait to see. So I think I've dragged this video on for longer than it should have been because it's been 2 weeks that I haven't talked about One Piece, but I've been excited. I'm excited for the next one, and hopefully you are too. So please leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.